wearing a mask during the interview?
Well, yeah, because of COVID and the virus, we've got to be careful.
Well, we're social distancing, we're filming at a 2 metre distance, we're all wearing masks, the crew, and we've taken temperatures on arrival. You're all good.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Connor, should we go again?
Yeah, I think so, man.
Hi guys, it's Tom from Bring Me The Music. We're here in the Brentwood Hairdresser in Essex. We're going to be chatting to Ocean Floors, where they filmed their new music video for their new single, Spirt Level.
Hello, and welcome to Spirt Level! Wow!
So the music video for Spirt Level has come out. It is an 80s trippy, wacky affair. It's absolutely bonkers. So when Spirt Level started progressing and started fulfilling its potential, how did that guys make you feel knowing that you had the next single?
I think it was, we were really happy with how the last single went, Deep Sea Dreaming, and we felt like we'd set a certain standard that we'd not achieved before. So for us, I think there was a little bit of, I don't know, personally there was a bit of relief because that song did so well, by the sounds of what we achieved before. So I think, a bit of relief that maybe we might be able to match it this time around.
The one thing we always worry about when we write songs, especially something that did as well as Deep Sea Dreaming, we always go back to the rhyme and think, right, how can we top that? We always start worrying about how can we even try to begin to even match that. But we always seem to I don't want to say outdo ourselves because that makes me sound a bit big-headed, but no, we're always very content with how it comes out to us and what a songwriting. The songwriting process we've kind of nailed down to a T now.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it feels like we're improving is the main thing, and as Sean says, I think we're in a place now where we know how we construct songs best, and it doesn't mean that the process will be the same every time, but we're getting quite comfortable with the process of putting songs in.
Did the initial idea come from one person, or was it more a collaborative effort?
Quite collaborative, and like Hamish said, we generally tend to come up with an idea for a song, and we're like, oh yeah, really like that, and then I'm with the person to go, no, we can get a better chorus for that. So then we'll keep the verse, and then sort of try more methods to get something else, and then at the end of the process, it's completely different to what we start off with.
Yeah.
But it's for the better because it's hopefully a better song than what we first started with.
Was it challenging? Did the recording process change the song a lot?
It evolved quite a bit. The producers we work with, Sugar House, are wizards, really, I guess. We went in there and they came up with all these new ideas for synth parts, which Sean put on the track, and sort of different ways of playing bass, which was really interesting. So, yeah, a bit of an interesting one. It never ever comes out the way I think it is, but that's good because there's no point, paying someone X amount of money and making your way up there if it's going to sound what it sounds like in your bedroom or whatever.
It always tends to speed up in the studio as well, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We always the song arrives and it's like, they always think it's too slow, and they're always right. And it normally needs a bit of a
or they just tell Alex, just calm down, man. And they're like, no need for that, like simplify everything, and then at the end they'll put some percussion on it, and then we'll track a bit of shaker or a tambourine, whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So it's all about stripping things back to its absolute core, and then working on it from the ground up.
That was definitely one of my favourite aspects of it. The mix and the producing bit sounds so clear. You can hear those little, like you said about the synth parts.
Yeah.
Just in there within it, which made the song just so much better, because there is that slight spooky Halloween element, which is quite fitting right now, which is a really great touch. Recorded at Sugar House in Liverpool, how did that opportunity come about?
We got an email from them. I would say, when was that? Sort of early last year?
Maybe summer last year.
Yeah.
I want to say we've done the Isle of Wight gigs.
Ended up in our junk inbox, so we didn't see it for ages. But when we got back to them, I think we did a bit of research on it before we got back to them.
Yeah.
Hamish had a lengthy phone call with the producer there, and it just started the wonderful relationship we've got with them.
Oh, brilliant. And sadly, you had to come all the way back because of COVID.
Yeah. So we did Deep Sea Dreaming about a year ago with them. Went great, and then it was Spirt Level that was interrupted. Like crazy. Arriving late on a Sunday, recording all the instrumental on a Monday, and then getting back to the flat.
But it must have been amazing to be able to go back because, music is your outlet. That's the way that you kind of, for your spare time and get the life stresses out. How did it feel knowing you could go back and finish the song?
It was nice. I think it was very different because we got in there and everyone was cleaning guitars every single time we went to play one. Only one person allowed in a booth at one time. So it was all sort of very different, but I think we all sort of knew what the drill was. We knew what we needed to do. So we came up there, laid down vocals. We got up at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
Drove there, got there at 10. did what we needed to do. I think it was Sean did a bit of keys. I did the vocals and some BVs on it, and we headed home about 9 o'clock. So it was a crazy day.
I bet.
Yeah. So good old story to tell, I think.
Oh, definitely. It's a great backstory for the song. And do you think having that time away from it improved the song?
That's a difficult one.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we only had to do vocals on it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I think it was nice to have a break from it, because I think it's easy. Say if we were to record vocals, one of us could have been like, "Oh, I'm not really too sure about that bit."
Yeah.
But we're all sort of unanimous when going back into the studio that everything was where it needed to be and whatnot. So
yeah, brilliant. So I've got an idea for merch for Spirit Level. I think it's a really good idea. It took me a long time. So if you want a massive batch, it's going to take ages. So don't be too impressed, please. But
this is the one I made earlier.
Are you ready for this? So Ocean Floor's very own Spirit Level.
Look at that.
Do you like the idea?
You spelt floors right as well.
Yeah.
There we go.
Very good.
There we go.
That's
Brilliant. There you go.
Very good stuff.
Thank you. The question is, does it actually work?
Well, let's test it out. That is a flat floor. So there we go. Thank you very much.
Wow.
Is that the font we used on the artwork?
Yeah, that's
See, a great design there.
Yeah.
So it's actually genuine Spirit
Is it
Level.
fully
works.
functioning?
It's fully functioning. Turn that around. There we go.
Oh wow.
So if you really like the idea, you can have it and
How much?
Yeah.
Retail price. Let's talk retail price.
I'm going $39.99.
Wow.
That's
way too
steep.
much. Way too much.
It took a lot of effort and a lot of time.
I see.
Maybe we can sell it as like a one-off, and then we'll obviously do a setup where like we keep 80% and then you get 20%.
No.
Just
As in, when I say 80%, we'll keep 80, you keep 20, and then the others can kind of nothing.
Let's keep it between us. Okay.
But you did a great job.
Fantastic job.
You
Thanks.
worked obviously
Don't
really
follow.
hard on it.
Great.
okay.
The whole name of Spirit Level as well. I think we were like, obviously it's a mundane object. We were sort of trying to play around for a while with names, weren't we? And we were like,
Where did it come from?
we're Spirit Leveler.
Mm-hmm.
There's a ghost in my house. We were like,
Yeah.
no, that's a Northern Soul song, I think.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just think we didn't have a better idea, basically.
That's quality. Love that.
So I've got some fun questions here. So who's most likely? And they may relate to some of some funny moments you guys have been through. So I'm glad you got the beard to get ready.
Okay.
Most likely to use being in a band as a chat line.
No, I've got a great story for this.
Go for it.
Around Callum.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't so much like a chat-up line, it's almost like a form of weird verbal self-defense. The guys visited me a few years ago when I was studying in Germany for a while, and we were queuing for this like wine cellar, and there was this really obnoxious Italian girl who I don't know how we were on the topic of exercise, and she kind of said to Callum, who I think is trim, he runs,
he does well.
but maybe at the time, he was kind of more McDonald's than Miles.
Yeah.
And she kind of, we were talking about working out, and she was like, "You don't look like you work out," and he was smashed at this point, and he kind of looked at her and was like, "I'm in a band. Like, why would I ever need to work out?" So based on that, I'm gonna say, but he wouldn't now because he's in a relationship, obviously.
fair,
but
fair.
Callum's quite
Respect that. Respect that.
Most likely to throw a paintbrush into a crowd during a gig.
Oh, we've got to know. Yeah, so the story is Callum's first gig. It's your first gig with us, wasn't it? It was your first gig.
Yeah, from 2 weeks of starting the band, you were like,
Yeah,
we've got a gig in 2 weeks. I was like, what?
So how old are we? 16? 17?
Yeah.
It was the first gig was in, or Callum's first gig was in my secondary school hall,
Mhm.
and I think 5 people turned up, didn't they?
Amazing.
5 people.
If that, yeah.
And I think one of the ever thinning crowd, someone threw a little paintbrush onto the.
No, it was because it was in a school. There was like a.
Oh, you got it from the pot on the stage.
Yeah, by the side of the stage, there was like all of these sort of things from the art department because people started to write all of the sort of graphics and stuff. And I was sort of thinking, I wasn't playing an instrument, so I didn't know what the hell to do. So I was sort of walking around when like, hey, we should probably do a 20-minute guitar solo, and went into this bit at the back and I saw these like paintbrush. I ended up just like throwing one into the crowd, which just hit the floor and didn't really make much of an impact really. But you live and learn really, I think, from that sort of thing. But yeah, you got to bring
the most punk moment of your life at that point.
The most.
at that
To
point in
this
my life,
day,
yeah.
the most punk thing he's ever done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny.
Now it's all cereal and oat milk, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is, yeah. It's gone on a bit.
Living the life.
I'm a bit sad.
Yeah. Well, that's where the lead man goes crazy and then has that moment of reflection and goes all bit more straight on the
Yeah.
Rebellious stage out of the way.
Yeah.
Who's made the most obvious error on stage?
I hate to make it a hat trick, but I will go Callum. Based on
He's got that one bad. You always had that one mate, don't you?
He's got the perfect hat tricks.
no, it's but again, the thing with him is he has turned into like a great front man who is maybe somewhat at times limited by the stages that we get to play on. You know, like he doesn't have a lot of room to doesn't need a lot. Doesn't have a lot of room to roam. So when as our gigs have gotten a bit more chaotic in terms of like the crowds and stuff, and there's a lot of beer going around, and the stages are slippery and stuff. He's never fallen over, but there are times where like he's trodden on cables, and there's been some pretty horrific feedback and stuff. So not his fault, but I feel like just by virtue of maybe having more to do. I mean, you play multiple instruments, so not in that regard, but in terms of like performance-wise, he's got a lot to do and not a lot of space to do it in. So,
who's most likely to bring spare underwear to a gig?
Oh.
Do you want to do this story?
You know what? There's always something with Hamish at a gig, and it's just like, I mean, this was a gig, right, which we played. It was the final to play the Isle of Wight Festival, so I think it was 3,000 to 5,000 bands. We got down to the final 6, and we played Dingwalls in Camden.
Yeah.
We had to get down there for sound check. You know, everyone had to sort of do their thing and get ready for the gig. And Hamish turned up with maybe a couple of pair of dirty pairs of pants.
I had 3.
So me, Sean, and Alex were like, "What's going on? This is the most important gig of our career, if you can call it that."
It was in a plastic bag. It's a.
So I think for some reason Hamish was maybe sort of been out the night before, or he's sort of been away, and he got home and didn't have any clean underwear. So he was like, you know what? Logically, I'm going to bring 2 pairs of dirty pants so I can then wash them in the sink at the venue, and then proceed to hang them up on the railings where people are going to put their clean hands.
Yeah.
Didn't someone come into the bathroom when you were doing that?
Yeah, I was sort of wringing them out in the sink with hand soap, and the promoter came in. I was like, "Oh, are you here for the show?" I was like, "No, I'm gonna play in the band in a second." He was like, "Ocean Floors?" I was like, "Yeah."
And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why we don't have a record deal.
But in my defence, it was I was so ready for that gig, and then I was about to get dressed and leave, but I just had no clean pants. And I think the choice was either to leave Commando or take pants and clean them there.
It's not our problem.
So I chose that one.
Just wear a morph suit or something.
Amazing. Alright. Describe Spirit Level physically without saying a word.
can I borrow the Spirt Level?
Or that instead.
The tapestry, yeah.
I feel like there's more there.
Just gonna, we'll drape that on.
Thank you, mate. I'm cold.
There we go.
Thank you, mate.
And then that Spirt Level, is it, I guess?
Not Spirit Level.
Oh.
You're not quite sure what it is. It looks uncomfortable, and I can assure you it is uncomfortable.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
Great question.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having a chat. Well done on the new single. It's absolutely brilliant. I absolutely love it. It's catchy as hell. Suits the time of the year as well. And check it out. Spotify, all these streaming platforms. Spirit Level.
Cheers.
Ocean
Thank you very
Floors.
much.
Excuse me, mate. Would you like a Spirit Level? Ocean Floors released a new single called Spirit Level. Spirit Level, Spirit Level. What do you think, mate? Spirit Level?
Tom, mate, no one's interested.